What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Stocks by the Numbers, and I just wanted to do a quick video here on Bitcoin, just because I feel like everyone and their brother is involved in Bitcoin, some sort of cryptocurrency, and we all feel that everything's going to moon. Now, disclaimer, me personally, I don't own any cryptocurrency. I personally don't believe in any of it. The fact that I'm even sitting here looking at this at 21,000 just completely blows my mind. Here in 2018 when it ran up, it didn't make sense to me. Even here in 2019 when it rose back up, didn't make sense to me. This basically, I don't know, everyone's stimulus money came into it. All of a sudden it went from 7, 8, 9,000 up to 70,000. I mean, I don't know. It makes no sense. We've looked at stocks on this channel that have healthy revenues and profit margins, and they're trading with low market caps. So this is what blows my mind, because I know a lot of people are going to bash me in the comments after this video, because when you talk about any popular stock or a popular cryptocurrency, if you don't completely agree with the status quo and you don't say definitely that it's going to moon and everyone's going to become a billionaire off this crypto, then basically you get stoned, you're ostracized, and everyone just jumps down your throat. And I welcome it, because I'm sure, you can't tell me definitively why this is up. And if you can, then you probably can't tell me definitively why this pulled back from 60, 70,000 down to 20,000, right? Because if it's as good as you say it is, and more people are using it and buying it and accepting it, then this wouldn't have stopped at 70,000 and just would have kept going and going and going. But basically, I wanted to switch over here to TradingView, because people say that this is a digital currency. But again, like I just said, if everyone started putting more into it and using it more and more, and all different companies and countries started to accept it, then, it would have went higher and higher and higher. So, this thing, the way it went from, what is this 52-week range here, 69,000. Now we're at 20,000, right? I mean, imagine if the value of the dollar or gold decreased that fast. I mean, just think about that for a second before you try to convince me that this is like an actual currency. But again, this is just my opinion. I'm sure people in the comments are going to agree, and I'm sure a million people are going to comment saying that I'm a fool and I have no idea what I'm talking about. And that's fine, because everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But basically, I just wanted to look at a chart here. So this is the max chart. And what we're seeing here, this is our bottom trend line, and this is our top trend line. And you can see that we're staying in this range here. Now, I drew these trend lines recently because if we switch, first of all, the fact that it pulled back to this bottom trend line and then bounced up a little bit, obviously is a very good sign, especially if you're a holder, right? If you're holding this or you're thinking about buying it, this is a good sign, because this is showing us, hey, we went low enough, we touched our trend line, now we're bouncing up, boom, we're going to have life again, right? So that's definitely a positive. However, I'm looking at a couple of things, and this is going back, what are we, November 2021, right? So about 8 months ago, right? And this is our trend line that we draw down here, and this is the bottom trend line, the long-term trend line, right? And see how it came down and it bounced, and it's like finding support here, kind of like slowly channeling back up. Now, I'm looking at this a few different ways, right? If we go back to a max chart, okay, it bounced off the bottom. If it goes back to the top of the range, we're going to be looking at, several 100,000 or something. Look at that right there. That's like 180. I got to take auto off. Can't even see it. But boom, let's just say we bounce and we immediately go straight up like this quick. I mean, look at the right side. You're looking at $500,000 each. I mean, listen, I know a lot of you young people believe in Bitcoin, and you've been adding to it or you've been holding it for years. Listen, I really hope it works out for you. If it does explode like that, I know a lot of people are really going to be happy, and they're going to be able to take the money and run. But on the flip side, this is what's worrying me, the fact that it's been in a downtrend. And I drew this line here to zoom in. We got to get to a photo. So we zoom in here, right? This is our bottom trend line. And this is our top trend line now. And this, as we can see, is tightening. Technical analysis, this is tightening into basically a symmetrical triangle. And if any of you know about symmetrical triangles, what can happen once it reaches this apex here is that it can either break higher or it can break down lower. And, you know, I know we've heard some horror stories about, you know, cryptocurrencies going bust, or crypto trading platforms just shutting down and taking everyone's money. So, you know, listen, I know a lot of people believe in it. I really, really hope that this works out. Because if this does break something like this, I mean, you know, look, what, here? And what are we looking at? 6,000, 6,400 maybe? Or even here, 8,600, right? So you're in for Max Payne. If this is truly setting up a symmetrical triangle, and it does bounce and then break, you're going to lose a healthy amount of your assets here. Also, looking at the 1 year, you can almost say that these big chunks down have made like your post. And now, see, I drew this trend line, and it's kind of channeling. Zoom in a little bit for you guys. See how it sharply shot down, and now it's channeling. And this is almost like a flag. So if this is a bear flag, then, you know, you're going to see this bounce and then break down and go even further. So what you're hoping to see here, you know, if I were you, if I was a shareholder, I want to see let me zoom back in actually. I want to see this somehow be able to break up out of this resistance here, right? Because that'll confirm that it's not a bear flag, and, you know, it's still okay, and it's not going to break down. Also, and now this trend line. So now you needed to break 1 and 2 in order, in my opinion, to really, really show some strength and some stability. Right? Because if it stays here, and like I said, if it breaks this trend line, this is a 5-year trend line. I'm sorry, max trend line. This is a max trend line. So if we go here, if we break this trend line, as I said, Max Payne situation. If this is a bear flag setting up, it will most likely break down, and then boom, Max Payne situation. Or it can somehow break above this resistance and stay in this triangle, and then it could still break down and Max Payne situation. So you need, you know, a lot of, again, I'm not trying to sound negative. Again, like I said, you know, it's our mentality as investors, you know, how tight money has become. I understand it's rough out there, but everything you buy is not going to increase thousands of % for you and show you astronomical returns. It is just not going to happen. So I just wanted to draw out some of these trend lines, you know, and listen, hey, you know, maybe I'm missing a pattern. You know, I'll be the first one to say I'm a very honest guy. I will be the very first one to say I'm not the best at technical analysis. Sometimes I draw a trend line and then, you know, an hour or two later it's just inaccurate and I completely read the chart wrong. I mean, you know, everyone makes mistakes. Nobody knows everything. But I just wanted to pull up a chart, and I just wanted to show a couple of things that caught my eye. And like I said here, this is like a 1-year chart, and it looks like we're setting up a long-term symmetrical triangle here. But in the short term, it does kind of look like we have a bear flag going on. But if we go out to a max chart, I mean, you know, we have massive room for growth here. If this does bounce, you know, I mean, look at this, immediately straight up. Let's just say it happens in the next week. I mean, look at that. 515,000 each. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously, it can slowly go all the way up like that and take forever. And now we're looking at 1.6 million each. I mean, like I said, personally, I don't really believe in it. That does not mean it's not going to happen. But at the same time, I did just want to show these few patterns here that caught my eye. Because, you know, I know that people are really bullish on it, and you never want to hear anyone tell you the opposite of what you're thinking. But at the same time, I'm just seeing a lot of indicators here showing that this could potentially get very ugly very quickly. So, you know, right now it's in this little channel. You have this trend line, and this is the main one you're looking at, this bottom trend line. This right here, we touched it, and it bounced off it. Now we're in this tight range. This is the line that you want to see. This is the line right here that you have to keep an eye on. Because in my opinion, if it breaks this line, you have to get out immediately. Now, will it become worthless? You know, probably not. Because people still believe in it. People will pick it up, buy it at the discount and whatnot. But like I said, if we stretch out, I mean, you know, look at this next fib, 12,000. So that's what, like a 40% drop from these levels. If it breaks this trend line, it could potentially drop down to here. You could say that this is a support level. And then if it happens to break that, I mean, you're going half that again. You're going 5,800, 6,000. So, you know, again, I don't know everything, but I don't know nothing. And, you know, I'm just seeing a couple of things here, and I just wanted to bring it to your attention. So, once again, this is Stocks by the Numbers. I want to thank you guys for stopping by. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave it down in the comments section below. Usually pretty quick to reply. Let me know if you think I'm crazy, and, you know, it's going to be $1 million each, and I should jump in. Or, you know, let me know if you kind of agree with everything I'm saying, and you might want to just sit on your hands right now and wait to see what happens. I'm really curious to see all viewpoints. But again, you know, thanks for stopping by. Just like everyone on YouTube says, hit the thumbs up, helps out the algorithm, like the video, blah, blah, blah. Hit the subscribe button if you like the content I'm putting out. You know, it really helps me out. I really appreciate all my supporters. And listen, moving forward, I know the markets are volatile, so I wish everyone success. I hope everyone makes a couple of dollars. And I will see you in the next one.